Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. Or should I say, welcome back to the circus that is Manchester United. We've got a lot of stuff to discuss on today's show. Antony has been dropped from the Brazil squad. What implications will that have for Manchester United? That, coincidentally, kind of times perfectly with Jadon Sancho having a public showdown with Erik ten Hag. It's all going off at United in a minute. Amrabat, on a positive note, had his first day at Carrington today. I want to speak about him. And in the spirit of bald is best, I've got something planned at the end, something interactive that you guys can get involved with. So make sure you stick around for that. And as always, throw your interesting questions in the chat. And let me know your opinions on the topics as we go through them together. Now, we've got Chive and Treyas alongside me. We doing well, boys? We good?
Yeah.
Yes, happy days. I want to get your thoughts on this Antony situation. Obviously, the past couple of days, like I said, I've been mad busy, and we was at Talk of the Devils live last night, which was very good. We were speaking about a bit off camera there, but it's been a bit crazy as usual with United, so we haven't had a chance to speak about certain things. Now, this situation with Antony, so the winger Antony's been investigated by Greater Manchester Police over claims he attacked his former girlfriend. Antony denies any wrongdoing and put a statement out basically denying it and saying that there had been verbal wars between the both, but never physical. And he's positive that his name will eventually be cleared. Regardless of the situation, Chive, again, isn't this just another drama that we do not need? And why do these things just happen to Manchester United? I feel like it's only Manchester United where this happens. No other club. Is this something? Is this some kind of sauce in the air, or like? Talk to me about how you felt when you first saw this.
Yeah, I mean, we can't seem to catch a fucking break, man. Like, it's one thing or the other. And this has been consistent from Mason Greenwood and then Maguire and then McTominay, and then it's just negative. Yeah, it's just becoming. I don't know if there's some crazy sort of timing in the cosmos that's just affected us. And it's bad news to bad news. I didn't even know it was investigated by Manchester Police, Greater Manchester Police. I thought it was.
We lost.
Yeah.
We might have lost him. He's just.
Yeah,
he's just about to make a really important point there. He's got that serious face. Like,
oh my God! Have you lost me? You've lost me.
No. Back now.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
go for it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I never left. I could see you guys say, "Oh, we lost him." Sorry about that. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I had no idea that it was. I thought all these allegations happened in Brazil. Needless to say, it's just not what we need. I mean, what else could happen now? I mean, it's just from we thought we'd, escape with the Mason Greenwood thing, and then this comes on, and then he's been dropped from Brazil. It's just another negative, headline that's associated with us. And I suppose right now you just have to ride it. You just have to ride it through, and just hope that the next time we play against Brighton, we win, because we just need a win to sort of just get lift.
Yeah.
And it's annoying now. It's annoying now because it's the international break. It's annoying now because the international break, so it's just going to just drag on until we play. So. Yeah, we have to take Brighton. We have to win them and just get a little bit of a respite.
Yeah, I thought after all the kind of toxicity of when Ragnick was here, and there was like so many bad things going on at the time, and you had the Ronaldo moaning about certain things, and then you got the interview with Piers Morgan. You've got loads of shit just basically kicking off. That's just been an absolute madness. But in relation to the Antony situation, Shreyas.
Yeah.
Does the fact that Brazil have dropped him mean automatically that Manchester United should?
I think once again, with Antony, it is a very, very delicate situation right now. I believe that it is genuinely a very delicate situation because the thing is, the club are already under a lot of pressure when it comes to our attackers. We've got injuries, we've got Ten Hag, we've got the team who's not actually, performing at the levels that Ten Hag actually wants him to actually perform upon. Then you've got, this constant drama, this constant thing going on with, that one thing actually ends, the other thing just pops about in the same kind of time frame. And it just, keeps this whole cycle going on of negativity around the club. And I think if Brazil have dropped him, I think the way it culminates, I think United might have to drop him. We've seen it before that if a national team actually drops a player, that's a big call. Like it's a very very big call that a national federation has decided to drop a player because of an ongoing investigation. And I think the term ongoing investigation is actually a very strong term. It shows that even if he's not guilty or whether he is guilty, it is not nailed down, but there is something that is going on. So I think United might be actually in a situation where they have to, probably drop him for a couple of fixtures until, either this whole thing gets downsided or actually a complete clear report comes out of this. But if he does go out, I think oh, it's just not the right time right now with all of these things happening. And I believe that all of this combined, it will land up on Ten Hag in one way or
Yeah.
another.
I mean, it's never great when it happens anyway, is it? But once
Yeah.
you add the kind of fuel to the fire at the minute with everything else that's going on, it isn't. In general, do you think young players have enough education off the pitch in order to kind of, because the lifestyle that they get, when youngsters get thrown that much money at that much age, and that's not excusing anything that's happened for that, I'm just saying that much money, that age with a big ego, they let it get the best of him. Do you think there's enough education off the pitch to kind of guide them in these kind of things? Because I can imagine you'll probably know some people, I know some people, if you give them 200 grand a week at the age of 18, God knows where they'd be. So I don't know what my question is, I suppose, but do you kind of understand that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you would think that, I mean, ideally, they should know better at this point. This isn't Antony's first contract. He's been a professional player in Brazil, and then he went to Ajax, and then he's come to Man United. So, yes, he's 22, 23, but he's not, it's not like he's 18, or he should know better.
I think he's frozen again.
He's probably still there and he's probably still speaking, but he has froze again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Inception here or something in an episode. I don't know whether to tune in. I don't know what the audio's saying. Can people just hear us? He's got it again.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying. Right. Well, whilst he tries to connect back, do you want to add on to that point? It is important to kind of. Oh, is he back now?
He is. Yeah.
My back. Fuck's sake. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, it's like Inception. Is the coin spinning, or I don't know what the fuck's going on?
I can see you guys chatting away like, oh, he's gone, and I'm like, I'm here, guys. I'm really sorry about this. Should I just leave or should I go? All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll try and be quick. Football clubs nowadays, they have these things in place. I mean, there's to train them on the pitch, and then they have there's PR teams, and there's lots of advice that they have. So you would imagine that they know not to act in a certain way, and obviously this isn't the first time we've seen things like this happen. So I personally, and I'm sure you guys and everyone watching as well, would learn from other people's mistakes. So I really don't understand why people still go. I mean, if it's true what he's done, I just don't understand it. Like I still haven't got my head around Mason Greenwood. Like I still don't understand why he's done this. And this is the same thing with Antony. Like why what happens. But at the same time, let's not forget that if Neymar didn't have a camera running, he would have been in. Do you remember the Neymar issue?
Oh, yeah.
So if he didn't have a camera running then, we can never tell. But yeah, I really don't have an answer to that because I would just imagine that they should know already, like not to be a fucking prick.
Yeah, it's well, that was my point. It seems becoming more and more common in football at the minute. I've seen more and more incidents being reported about this. Other players who, I'm not going to throw out there and go through a list, but I just see this happening more and more, and I don't know. I'm not educated enough to say exactly what needs to happen, but something does, because you're throwing giant money at these kids with egos as it is, and some of them are turning the wrong way, and you're getting situations like Mason Greenwood and a potential situation like Antony as well. So, look, I think United are looking at this. We've just seen a couple of updates then saying that they're thinking about removing him from the squad whilst this gets investigated. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. We've got another winger waiting in the wings. I don't know if that's a thing, but Jadon Sancho, Shreyas, there's a public thing going on with him and Erik Ten Hag at the minute. Obviously, Ten Hag made the comments after the game, which I touched on in the video yesterday, and then Sancho replied to that on social media. But the question I wanted to ask, Ten Hag put it public and put it out there for everyone to see. Sancho put it in public. So why is Sancho in the wrong for this?
I think the reason why people are saying that Sancho is in the wrong for this is because the way he has come out with it. We've seen other players, who actually, Ten Hag has actually come out with and said that, I've dropped him for this reason. He's not been involved because of certain disciplinary issues, and they've reacted to it in a much positive way, and they've, been able to cement their spot in these teams. They've become a unit. They've become a quite an integral part of this team. With Sancho, the thing has been ever since Ten Hag has come in, barring the first 4 to 5 games that that Ten Hag just came in, barring the first 4 to 5 games of last season, you could never see Sancho being a very key part of this team. You could never see Sancho have the kind of impact that Rashford or Garnacho has had into this team. And we've actually seen, Garnacho actually being ahead in the pecking order than Jadon Sancho. And Garnacho is a youth academy prospect who has just come through last season. Jadon Sancho has been a professional for quite a long time. He's been brought in for about 70-75 million euros, and there was a lot that is expected out of him. And I think when Ten Hag was announced as a new manager, a lot of people believed that Jadon Sancho will perhaps be one of his best players in this team because he is that mold of a player that Ten Hag wants in a winger. But we just haven't seen him hit that potential. We just haven't seen him, be able to produce those numbers or be able to show that kind of work rate. Or I haven't seen something quite positive coming out of Jadon Sancho ever since Ten Hag has come in. Of course, last season he had that break as well. For quite a considerable time, he had to come in. Made a couple of good performances here and there, but they were never consistent. You could never see week in and week out. Like we said, last season there was a point when we said that after every single week, we can see Antony getting better and better. He's performing much better. With Rashford, we could say that he's perhaps in the best form of his life right now, and perhaps the best player in Europe right now. I think you could even say about any of our attackers last season. Garnacho was coming through, and we were saying that perhaps next season he could be a starter for us. With Sancho, we have never been able to say it, and since Ten Hag has come in, he's made more than 50 appearances, I think, and he's only been able to contribute like 10 goals. In total, he has been able to contribute like 10 goals. I don't think that's that great numbers for a player. Like Garnacho has got more numbers than him, and Rashford has got more numbers than him. So it is a big, serious concern. And if he had been performing, it would have been a different thing. That he's been performing well for us. He's been pulling up those numbers. He's been a key winning factor for us in a lot of games.
Make them play you in it.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, undeniable reasons that you have to play.
But right now, I would say, judging by the way he plays and judging by the way Antony has been playing, I would say Antony actually contributes more from that right-hand side because I think he helps a lot in preventing goals because his work rate is completely up charts. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Chivid, there never seems to be no smoke without fire. I mean, if you do a bit of digging on Sancho's career, last year, Shrey has alluded to it then, you had him kind of sent off, I think he missed in total 16 games to work on his individual self and whatever it was, whether it was like a mental break or I don't know what it was, but he got sent off. Gareth Southgate, as mentioned before in press conferences, and regardless what people think of Gareth Southgate, shit manager, whatever you want to say, he has mentioned that it was nothing to do with performance. It was all training and how he was applying himself and things like that. Ten Hag's obviously come out and said this now. And then at Dortmund as well, there was words used at a similar time saying he's a scapegoat and he's not appreciated and these kind of things. And he's seen these same terminologies being used with Manchester United. Where do you stand on this Sancho situation?
One of the things he said was, he said something like, there's things that will come to light. I don't remember what the statement was at the end. So I think there's a lot more in the background. So like if we go back to when Rashford was disciplined for being late, I think.
Yeah.
Like he accepted it. He was late and, he accepted it. Same thing with Garnacho. He showed, he kind of accepted it. So they kind of admitted. So but with Jadon, he doesn't believe that he's in the wrong here. And I think there's a lot more to it. Now, my only criticism is the way he's come out and tried to defend himself. Because I know, but to be fair, I kind of understand it because it's easy for the press to just make him a scapegoat immediately.
Yeah,
and he feels like he has to come out and defend himself. Otherwise, it would just go into overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really blame him for doing that. I just wish I just wish the manager, had kept it under wraps, or because there were times when some people didn't play and we know they were injured, but the manager just says, "Oh, they're ill," So I don't really know what to make of this one until we see more, until more comes out, because I think there's a lot more behind the scenes that we're not really fully aware
I
of.
hope it doesn't come out though in the same
Yeah.
regard. I hope they just
Yeah.
deal with it internally how it should
I
have
hope,
been dealt with.
yeah. I hope it's just dealt with, the makeup, and then it's all good. It's never nice to have this, and I hope it doesn't affect the rest of the dressing room.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
right now,
I'm
if
on-
Antony goes off, yeah, exactly, we need a winger, and I just don't like the way he's playing out in the public. I really, really don't like that. Like, it's not ideal at all.
But this is one of the reasons why we called it the fucking circus today, because this is one of many things that we're having to deal with. So God knows what the manager's thinking at this moment in time with everything that's going on above him. Like, how you're basically working with it, dancing on a moving carpet, aren't you, with everything?
Yeah.
Having to deal with loads of individual situations. His job is like his salary won't be nowhere near enough for the amount of stress that he's got on his shoulders at the minute. There's no money that can soften that fucking blow of having to deal with all that. I don't care what anyone says. It begs the question with Sancho though: will it ever work out for him at Manchester United? I don't know. I honestly can't say yes or no or have a definitive answer with him. So I hope it does, because I know there's a player in there, but if he's not applying himself right and he's not, pushing himself to the absolute maximum, maybe it might not work out with him at Manchester United, and maybe he'll end up moving on. But the ironic thing is, like you mentioned, Chive, we'll probably need a winger when we come back from the international break with everything that's going on with Antony. So his opportunity and his window was there. Granted, you don't want that opportunity, dealing with the things that it is, but it is there. It will be there. And maybe Palestra will grab it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. Ultimately, lads, all this stems from the very top. We all know this. And it's from the Glazers. I saw a story before. Well, not a story. This is factual. But Kieran Maguire was on Stretford Paddock, and he mentioned before that the Glazers deciding not to sell, or the rumor that came out about them not selling, has reduced the market value of the club on the New York Stock Exchange by over 700 million, and the share price has dropped 18%. At the moment, there's talks of them wanting £10 billion, which is 30 times what Newcastle was bought for, by the way, 4 times what Chelsea was bought for, and 4 times what Arsenal is actually worth. In your opinions, and Shreyas, I'll go to you first on this. What do you believe Manchester United is worth?
I think at this moment in time, I don't think that United is worth over 3 billion. I genuinely don't think that United is worth over 3 billion, because I think under the light of recent events, we have seen Chelsea being gone, we've seen Newcastle being bought, and I would say that to get a fair assessment of actually what United is worth, you need to take a keen eye of actually what Chelsea was worth, because before this whole thing happened of Chelsea's takeover, they were performing really well on the pitch. They had, they were challenging for trophies. They had a very good manager. They had a very good, stabilized squad. You look at United, you've got a good manager. You don't have a stabilized squad. You've got an ever-rising debt. You've got more financial concerns than any other club in the Premier League. You've got to restructure the stadium on top of that. So I would say, in totality, considering all those factors, United should not be worth more than what Chelsea was worth, because Chelsea actually provided quite a stable atmosphere when it came to, you don't have debt, you don't have, those concerns of restructuring or remodeling or reconstructing the stadium altogether. But United have those concerns. And if I'm being honest, the relationship between the Chelsea fan base and the former Chelsea owner were not as stringent as the kind of relationship that we have currently with our owners. And I think, once again, with all these stories and whatever is coming out, we still don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I think the fact that this has actually carried on for like more, almost a year now, it just shows that either it's greed or either it's just the fact that the Glazers themselves are not sure what to do with the club, because they know that they cannot function with actually carrying on with the club, because sooner rather than later they have to remodel and they have to invest quite a lot into the infrastructure and everything, and they don't have the financial resources to pull it off. So they have to sell it. Exactly. So they have to sell it. I think they're just trying to get as much as they can possible, and perhaps by sending these sort of messages out and leaking stuff like we're not interested in selling the club, it just piles on the pressure on Qatar of actually upping their bid and meeting their target.
what you're expecting now is Qatar story to come out, and that'll raise the stock prices right back up, and
Exactly.
it'll go to $23 an hour. But do you think, Chivet, and again, I know you're not a financial expert, and I don't expect you to know all the incomings and outgoings and all that kind of stuff, but do you think with the new kind of rise of money from Saudi, the Club World Cup, the Champions League format changing, do you think there would be legitimate reasons for the Glazers to believe that United will be worth what they think it is by next year?
Because you're frozen on my screen.
Yeah, I can
Are you
hear
there?
you.
I can
Your
hear you.
picture's
Yeah, we
frozen.
can hear you, but you're
I can
frozen.
hear you. Well, go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's good.
You
Am I
good, you
back
good.
now?
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry about that. To pick on Shreya's point, I think we're actually 2 times worth what Chelsea is. Now, the brand of Manchester United is incomparable to any other club in England. I'm sorry, like the closest maybe would be, I don't know, right now probably Man City or Liverpool, but in terms of like the brand and what the prospects of the brand can be, we're twice, as big as anyone. So anyone trying to buy in the club is not looking at the players they're looking at how much revenue that you can generate from the brand, and the brand is still strong enough to generate lots of revenue. It's a global brand. I was just watching the game yesterday. I'm in Amsterdam at the moment, and I was watching the game, and there was a Canadian first time who from first time visiting Amsterdam, and he's a Canadian there, a lifelong Man United fan. I mean, there's lots of different people in this bar watching it from all around the world. So like, we're huge, we're massive, and I think we're worth that amount. And I think with all the money in Saudi and all that, these guys know. They play around people with cash, with lots of money, so they know what they can get for it. Whether we're worth 10 billion, I'm not sure, but there's not a better time to sell the club now. With all the negative press, with everything that's happening, it's not a better time to sell it now. And I don't think they'll be able to get any more money. They won't be able to get more than 6 billion. When the story came out, I just knew it was another play. It's a spin. It's a negotiating tactic. It's not real. They just leaked this out to other people. I mean, to like the press for this to go out. None of this is real. They will sell. They will sell. They have no choice.
Yeah.
It will cost them more to keep the club.
Exactly.
I have a feeling they're going to find some alternative or some form of investment from somewhere. I've said it for a long, long time now.
Who? Like
Honestly, I don't know, but I think at least for another 12 months they will be here.
Oh yeah, it will be a while. It will still be another couple of months. Yeah, but they will sell. It's going to cost them way more to keep it.
I think
right?
the thing is they might be here for like you mentioned, like another 6 to 8 months or even 12 months. But eventually, the only outcome of this is that they'll have to sell because they genuinely don't have the resources to they cannot. If they stay, they have to at least put in like 2 to 3 billion back into the club, and they don't have that sort of money.
Yeah. Cash
and
is tight, as we
they will burn. Yeah, and they will burn if they pull out now, they would have burnt a lot of bridges. Business partners and stuff. If they want to have any investments or anything in Saudi and Qatar, they would have. I mean, you can't play people like this, especially Qataris sheikhs. You can't just disrespect them that way. So I know they will sell. It's just a matter of time.
Ben Jacobs just put a tweet out, which I thought was interesting. We was touching literally on the stock price falling off there. Manchester United shares fell by a record amount for a single day today, over 550 million taken off market value. Numbers on course for the worst day in United's 11 years as a public company, as the market reacts to reports that Glazers won't sell. That's what Ben Jacobs just put out there. It makes me question. There's a lot of questions that come to mind, and I'm going to dive into all your comments right now. So I appreciate you've all been getting your comments in. I'm not reading them out. I'm trying to get through stories as quick as we can. So I'll read them out shortly. It just makes me think: can they keep manipulating stocks like this? Surely there's some kind of legal situation where they can't keep doing that. And the people who have, I'm wondering what people are paying, what they're paying Rain first and foremost to get a certain figure, and then what others have paid, like to Jim Ratcliffe and Qatar with the lawyers and everything that's involved. Like, I want to be a fly on the wall when they're discussing certain things like this and going through it. But I suppose we'll probably, because of these NDAs, we'll never ever find out the intricacies of these kind of things, which is unfortunate. But yeah, right. Let me scroll up and read out some comments, because there's quite a lot. Let me have a look. Scoreboard. I wonder if the back injury is why we really got him on loan then. No, I doubt it. No, we'll speak about Amrabat next, very quickly in a second. The club are willing to let Diogo Dalot depart next summer if he's not nailed down the right back position by the end of the season. The club's rate Wan-Bissaka higher defensively. I mean, that's surprising, to be honest. I thought he was unbelievable against Saka. Honestly, I thought he dealt with him.
I think both of them were fantastic.
Yeah. Tim saying maybe we should have signed an acrobat. I see what you're doing there. 86 million down the drain in reference to Antony. Frimpong, Todibo, Inacio, Onana, and Pino. The club are looking at these players for next summer. Okay. So many comments. £50 and £100 fine off the GMP. Is that what United are worth? I don't. Anyway, Kobe Mainu and Amrabat will play. Sancho will be removed. I need a new stadium straight away. Redevelop training ground pitch in place. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video if you can, and keep getting your comments in. Lucky Singh saying the Glazers don't have £3 billion. Do the Glazers have £3 billion to build a new stadium, redevelop training ground? The comments are all over the place at the minute. If I was in the Glazers position, sell for £5 billion, spend it all in their other team and make them dominant and sell that in 10 years when they're 70. Yeah, lots of conspiracies going about. Amrabat, lads. First day at Carrington today. He's been in the pool. He's been on the pitch, taking pictures. But I remember you describing him, Chivy, as a technical bully. How do you personally see him fitting into this team? How do you think Ten Hag's going to use him? Just talk to me about the importance of Amrabat this season, because I feel like we're going to fucking need him, aren't we?
Yeah, the happiest person in Manchester today would be Casemiro. Like, he'd be so happy.
Yeah.
Amrabat in there. Towards the end of that Arsenal game, there was a time when the ball went out to Vieira on the right, and I could see Casemiro, like, he was like, yeah, you could just see from his face, like, he had to get there. And the mind wanted to get there, but the body was like, nah, calm down. Like, Casemiro will be so relieved. Like, he's going to provide that extra stability that we need.
Yeah.
And I think we were a little bit lucky against Arsenal because they didn't have Thomas Partey in there. And because when they play with Partey and Rice, like, it's a much difficult midfield to break down. And I think that's what Amrabat brings in, because Bruno, even though he has the legs, he just doesn't have the defensive sense. Amrabat, one of his most underrated skills is interceptions. Like, he's really good at interceptions, marking, reading the play. It's on point, and that's what we kind of need, because if Ten Hag is trying to play this transitional football, it means that when we get the ball, we need to be like that. We need to get the ball within 3-4 seconds. Across, and he's the perfect sort of player to break up play and then hit on the counter. So I think he'd bring that sort of the energy, the legs, the physicality, the much needed physicality that we need in that midfield, the cover for defense. He can play a 6, he can play an 8, even though we don't need him to play those sort of positions, all the time. But yeah, he could do it. He could literally be sort of like an anchor, and he's also technically gifted as well. He's got a really good range of passing, and that's just what we need. Because even though Eriksen was really good, I was quite impressed with the way he played, but his defensive inability.
It was Jekyll and Hyde, won it, because the one thing he did for Marcus Rashford, where he played him in behind, that's what he's great at. And then Ødegaard's goal when he would the Sandro,
he just left him.
Yeah, Christian.
Literally. So that's the thing. So even though we've got Christian Eriksen, who's that good, we need someone, just a little bit more grit, and who's more, who's got his awareness around him in defensive situations. So yeah, he'll be perfect, and so I think as well, it's just a much needed change in that midfield, really, because we started that game literally with the same team from last season, apart from Onana.
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. I'm looking at that Bayern Munich game, Shreyas, and I'm thinking Amrabat is going to be perfect for that. You come up against like Goretzka, Kimmich, these kind of guys, Musiala kind of floating around there. Amrabat and Casemiro is 100% needing that midfield. I don't want to see Eriksen starting that, and obviously Mount is not going to start it either. But whilst we're on the subject of Bayern Munich, I just remembered now, the last midfielder we signed on loan, Marcel Sabitzer, didn't quite work out. I remember doing analysis on him. I remember saying what he'll bring and what he'll do this and blah, blah, blah. But the transfers happen. Sometimes he can be fantastic players.
Yeah.
Veron came from Lazio, went into the midfield. Paul Scholes thought his place was gone and he didn't perform. He was a great player, just didn't work out at Manchester United. Do you think there's any chance this could go the same way at all? Or are you absolutely positive that Amrabat's going to work out in this team?
I think the way Ten Hag is set up, I think this is the perfect way. This is the perfect setup for him to come in, and having the kind of partner in Casemiro who will be playing alongside him. I think it provides him with a perfect partner as well. And the job that he has to do, it's the same job that he has been doing at Fiorentina. It's the same job that he has been doing for the Moroccan national team as well. Now he has to bring the same game to Manchester United. So I think it provides him with quite a comfortable atmosphere. He doesn't really has to tune up or change his game by a different magnitude. He just needs to constantly keep on doing what he's been doing for so many years and just be able to streamline it with different partners around in Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. And I think once again he'll be an integral part of the squad because Casemiro will need to be rested in certain games. You will require Amrabat coming in, and to be very honest with you, with the kind of injuries we have, Varane being out, Lisandro, you've got tons of issues right now in our team when it comes to injuries. Mason Mount being out as well, so you need depth, and I think probably Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno, the two things it will help in it, definitely, like Jimmy mentioned as well, it brings a lot more stability into that defensive line. Like we were seeing Casemiro being over in the first 2 games of the season against Wolves and as well as Tottenham, that would get avoided, and we'll see a different kind of midfield for quite some time. You've got two very smart and at the same time very good ball carriers in that midfield, and with interceptions as well as ball recoveries, they're both really, really good. So you've got a
Yeah.
different profile in there, and perhaps it elevates Bruno's game as well because we've seen Bruno
Yeah.
actually losing out in possession on quite a lot of occasions. Eriksen cannot recover the ball as soon as Amrabat or Casemiro will. So definitely there will be changes to the way we play.
Fantastic
And
point there. Fantastic point on the ball recovery. I forgot about that as well.
Yeah.
He's amazing at that one.
Yeah.
And able to play multiple systems. I think for Morocco, definitely more a defensive unit, 4-1-4-1, compact. You have players on the break. And then Fiorentina, I think they had the second, on average, second highest possession in the league. So
Yeah.
show kind of, his ability on the ball and stuff. So I think it's going to be a great set. I think you're going to look back at that signing, if we do pay whatever it was, the 20 million, 25 million, as such a bargain. I've said it loads of times before.
Fantastic.
I think
so.
that's the deal. When you mention them ones, Chivy say shrewd, go out there, get someone who's not necessarily an obvious name, but will have a huge impact on that midfield. I think Amrabat's going to be that.
And he comes with no pressure. He doesn't come with a big price tag on there. No one's going to do a 007 thing where 7 games, 0 goals, all that crap.
Yeah.
He's
Well, on that,
did you guys see what his agent said?
I saw.
I had a read.
post.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it again? No, I remember reading it, but it was something like
It was like something like it started with 15 years you've waited for this move, and finally it is coming to fruitification.
Yeah.
Like you're at the theater of dreams, and we've been able to pull it off. It's been it basically said it's been a lifelong dream of his to actually be playing for Manchester United. He rejected every single club to actually make this possible, and now he's gotten his opportunity. So he just wants it to be the dream move for him, which he has actually wanted for quite some time.
Yeah.
That's what I love most about him. The fact he was just like, any other club, fuck off. I just want United, and I'll wait till deadline day to make it happen. That's the kind of commitment you want, mate. In the spirit of bold is best, obviously we've got Erik ten Hag, who's our coach, and we've got Sofyan Amrabat now in the team, and there's probably a couple more I'm forgetting about. I thought, could we create a starting 11 with bold players? So the best possible starting 11 you could possibly think of. We're just strictly using bold players. I need people in the chat for this as well. I've got a list of players in front of me, but I want to see if you two can combine this squad now between yourselves. So just a starting 11 from goalkeeper to striker. So who's
bold United players or just
anyone?
Bold players in general.
Bold players in general. So you got to come up with a starting 11 of bold players and make it the best you possibly can. So who would be the first senior bold player in the squad? Who would be the captain, the main man? Who do you think?
Zidane.
Yes, Zidane would be in there. Absolutely, 100%. Any others spring to mind? And bear in mind, you got to kind of put this in a format and a formation. You can't.
Well, it could be Zidane. It could be Stam.
Stam? You want to throw Stam in there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defender.
Treyas, anyone in mind?
Vidic.
Vidic. Okay.
Vidic won bald.
He was. Of course he was. Well,
Yeah.
it weren't like... This is where it's going to get technical, because he weren't bald where it was like skin bald, but he had a very, very,
How
very
bald are we
short...
talking? What's the filter
that's-
level?
We're talking
That's
about
not-
natural bald, like natural baldness. Like he's
Okay,
got his
all right.
hair. Yeah.
Okay, well, Vidic,
Okay.
Vidic can't be in there. So,
Okay.
sorry, Vido. You're not bald enough to be in the squad. Feature. Anybody else?
Yeah, goalkeeper. We'll definitely go for Fabian Barthez.
I knew Barthez was good. I had Barthez on my list as well.
Yeah.
Barthez in there. You've got Stam in there. You've got
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
French look to it.
Yeah.
Anybody
On
else?
on the right hand side, the one and only Arjen Robben.
Yeah.
Iron Robben.
Yeah,
Nice.
to kill him.
On right back, we could have Dani Alves.
Dani Alves. That's a very good shout.
Yeah. And to
Probably the
partner,
best- Just on that, just one sec. Just on Dani Alves. Do you think he's the best right back to ever play the game?
no, come on, man.
No.
Who's better?
Come on. I think Cafu was a better right back than
Yeah.
Dani Alves.
I think he was the original one to that attacking, bombing fullback for Brazil. But if you look at what Dani Alves has won as well,
His
like,
trophy
he's-
cabinet
he's-
is definitely
Well,
something different. But I think
unbelievable.
if you have to talk like
Yeah.
player to player, I think Cafu.
I understand your. Sorry, go on, Travis.
No, you go on.
I understand your argument, Nick. Like in terms of like accolades he's won, but like you take him in another team, like it's not like he's. Cafu is the archetype right defender. He could bomb forward, and you could not go past him. Like Dani Alves can be skinned. You cannot. Like it's really difficult for you to skin someone like Cafu. Like Cafu was the ultimate. Like I don't know if you remember when he frustrated Ronaldo, like a young Ronaldo, and this is Cafu towards the end of his years. So it's like there's two different things. Yes, he could be maybe the most accomplished right back, but I wouldn't say he's the greatest. Like he's not the best, personally. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to poke
Yeah.
see what you're saying. So Dani Alves in there, the second best right back. Who else is playing in there?
We'll go next to the upstand. We can have Chiellini.
Yeah.
Would you have him over Company? Again, don't shoot the message. I'm just asking.
No, I know. But he's left sided. Well, for the left hand side, yes,
Yeah.
Chiellini.
because he's left sided. Anyway.
Yeah. Chiellini, to be fair, is fucking.
Oh,
Remember, was it Jose Mourinho who said the way him and Bonucci, like they should teach that in schools?
Yeah.
It's Italians in it. They're just like when it comes to defending, the art of defending.
Yeah.
They know what the fuck they're talking about. So Chiellini right in there. You've got a left back left, two midfielders, and then two forwards.
Left
We've
back,
got
you
two
can go for Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos, very
Fantastic.
nice. I tell you what, this is a fucking fantastic team.
Yeah. Do we have two midfielders?
You've got Zidane in there in a minute. That's
Yeah.
it.
So we're still left
and
with
then we've got Wesley Sneijder.
Schneider.
Yeah.
If anyone can think of any better, if you want to come up with a
Yeah.
better name than the players that we've got in a minute, put it in the chat and we'll swap it. There's a couple in there already. Casemiro, Ericsson, none of them are bald, man. But yeah, anyway, I mean Ericsson's getting there.
Oh,
Ericsson's getting there.
we
Yeah,
could go
Ericsson's getting there.
for we could go for Iniesta.
what a shout!
Yes.
Yeah.
What a shout!
Yeah,
Iniesta.
man. Yeah.
Iniesta.
Right, so you got two attackers left now. This has gone a lot quicker than I thought it was. I thought you might be picking your brain. But Barthez, Dani Alves, Stam, Chiellini, Roberto Carlos, Zidane, Schneider, and Iniesta is your and Robben, sorry, on the right hand
Robben,
side.
yeah.
So you need a
We need-
striker.
We
and
need a
left
striker.
winger.
Striker, we go R9.
Was he bald?
He's not naturally bald. He just shaved his head.
Like, it was
he's
so
not,
close with that little
Yeah.
that cut that he had, but that's still technically like
he's
2%
not
of hair,
natural.
isn't it?
Yeah, he's not natural bald. But,
Yeah.
come on.
A naturally bald striker.
Well, Berbatov went to Turkey, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did the Turkey thing because he was actually getting bald. Come on. Waza was natural bald as well, but
Wazo would,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best shout.
he's
Especially
gone-
Skinhead Rooney as well, when he like picked it all off and was just snapping everyone, like just like an angry kid let out on asylum. Anyone got a better shout than I know you're saying Google bald R9. I know he was, but he wasn't bald.
He's not bald. Yeah, he doesn't make it. Like you have to be.
I mean,
That's
Rooney
it.
was not bald when he was like
There was
16.
one player from Chelsea.
A striker.
Yeah.
Mewtwo.
Anelka.
Oh, Anelka, Nicola Anelka. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nicola Anelka.
Yeah.
Over Wazzo?
No, not
Rooney?
over. Are we considering Rooney in this conversation
Are
or
we
not?
putting Rooney in? Because Rooney is actually not bald anymore. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right. So,
Yeah.
and Etu.
Oh,
Etu.
yeah.
Just thought to myself. Then Samuel Etu's got to be in there.
Yeah, I came in.
One of my
Yeah.
favourite players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking sick, man.
What do we need left?
You got a left winger.
Got a left winger.
I think that might be the hardest. A bald left winger. Like I don't think I've ever heard of a
Mbappe.
bald left winger.
Silva. Mbappe is bald. David Silva.
No, he's not naturally bald. He's got a big fucking chunk of head of hair.
Yeah, but he started losing it.
Yeah, but he's not he's not more like a natural bald, is he, David Silva?
Oh, so I thought he went bald. So he's like he started to lose his hair.
Probably bald now, but I won't
then,
play him
yeah.
now. I'm talking like players at the time.
Oh, at the time, okay.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Right, let's. Henry Jones is still adamant that R9 is bald. R9 is not going in there, Henry. I'm sorry.
He's not naturally. Yeah, he's got like proper hair now.
Yeah.
Henry Jones says Keane 2001. Sergio Ramos has hair. Yes, thank you very much. LeBouf. Don't know who that is.
Frank LeBouf was a Chelsea player.
LeBouf. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But he was a defender.
Phil Jones.
Philip.
Yeah. So Philip, who's apparently going to be a coach now, mixed race. I've seen a report on that. Gianluca Viallo.
Oh yeah, Gianluca Vialli.
Is he the one?
Yeah, Chelsea striker. Yeah, that's probably who Shiraz is talking about.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, recently.
Would Thierry Henry count?
Rest in peace.
Ooh, yes.
Thierry Henry would count.
Yes.
That
is a fire team. I don't think anyone's beating that bald 11. So, I mean, someone think of a goalkeeper that's bald that's better than Barthez. Be my guest. Throw him in there because Barthez, alongside these studs that are in the team. Pravav's in the chat saying hello. Hello to you, Pravav. I hope you're well. Good friend. Make sure you leave a like on the video, by the way, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our starting 11's bald. I'm going to have to think of a name. I'll have a think of a name whilst I'm going through it. Barthez in net. You got Dani Alves, Yapstam, Chiellini, Roberto Carlos at the back, Zinedine Zidane, Schneider, and Iniesta in the midfield, and then you got Robben, Etu, and Henry. I'd find it. Challenge anyone to do a better bald 11 than that.
I just remembered another bald midfielder, a former City one.
Stephen Ireland.
No.
Stephen Ireland. Fucking hell.
Yaya Toure.
Stephen Ireland. Torre. Yes. Yaya Toure.
Oh come on! Let's throw John Shelby in there. Just like you have to have Voldemort. Voldemort in there.
I'd never put fucking Shelby in the team.
Bro, Shelby is so bald. He's so bald. He doesn't even have eyebrows.
He's busy trying to fucking pin down Harry Potter, mate.
He hasn't got any eyebrows.
No, not having it. John Joe Shelby can piss off.
Yeah.
What the name? Creatives, people in the chat. A name for the starting 11. Something incorporate bald into the thing somehow. I'm trying to think of teams that have that kind of like Walsall. You'd have Walls bald, but that obviously doesn't work. I'll have a think, and then we'll get back to it. And then on the next show, we'll think it. Henry's saying Shelby has to be the captain. My guy, Bald Spot, has a bald spot. We lost one of our legends today, person who was one of the 68 players, I believe. I've not seen anything about that.
Did we? Have we? I haven't.
I've not seen anything about it, but I'll have a look into that. Victor Valdez, someone's put in.
Is
he bald?
Yeah, he's a keeper.
Yeah, I know he's a keeper, but I'm saying that I don't know if he was naturally like kind of bald or not. But I'll put Valdez in there anyway. So there's your starting 11. I'm going to do a graphic and everything and put a team name. I'm going to proper go all out. But yeah, I thought with United being a bit of a circus in a minute, dark times. It's nice to end it on something a bit positive, sorry, and a little bit, light.
I mean, we couldn't even have Amrabat come in with and celebrate in peace. Like it was like he's in, but he's got a back injury.
Yeah,
I'm like, let me just have Can we just have this one thing?
Yeah. He needs some zapping. So does Hoyland. He's back like everybody else. We're just signing players with back issues, effectively. Sam's put in receding back line 11. Yeah, I like that. That's very good. That's definitely up there. The hairless wonders. To scoreboard. That's decent as well. Yeah. I'll have a think, and we'll, I don't know, do a poll or some shit and get it out there. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra member for exclusive content, we've got a video dropping very shortly on the channel for you guys. So if you want to become a member, support the channel, it's like £3-4 a month for exclusive content, a Badge 16 name, and a chance to feature on the show live with us as well when we do the live draw. Please do click the link in the description or the join button next to the notification bell. Please do subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, and check us out on socials as well. All the graphics on the bottom right hand side of your screen. So yeah, do check that out. And thank you to Chive and Treyas taking time out of the day to discuss football. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely week, and let's see what the next drama unfolds at Manchester United. See you in a bit.